This might be the most significant story you hear all year, but it's been hidden just beneath the surface. In the last few years, a script unlike anything in modern history is being quietly set by China. The protagonist, China. The objective, gold. But if you think it's as simple as buying gold, no. What China is doing is a much deeper operation, one you might not have noticed. To directly link gold back to our currency, the renminbi. Simply put, China are quietly building a parallel system, a system that bypasses the current global monetary framework. It sounds crazy, right? But here's the situation. For the past several years, the People's Bank of China has been the world's largest buyer of gold. This is the overt move. But the secret is, while frantically buying gold, what is China frantically selling? US Treasuries. On the surface, it's asset allocation. But beneath the surface, China's goal is singular: to build a new, safer alternative outside the old system. But this isn't just buying. We are building. China established the Shanghai Gold Exchange, which is already the world's largest physical gold market. And this is just the first piece of China's puzzle. The real secret passage is a network China is quietly building. A gold corridor spanning all the BRICS nations. What is this? It's a network of vaults that allows any country holding renminbi to exchange that paper for real, physical gold, anytime, anywhere. This gives the renminbi one thing the old system lost long ago: trust. Why? Because gold cannot be frozen. It cannot be printed. It cannot default. That's not all. A key rule was quietly changed this past July. Gold was officially reclassified as a Tier 1 asset under Basel III. This sounds boring, right? But this is precisely the key to the secret. It means that on a bank's balance sheet, gold is now on par with cash and US Treasuries. But guess what China's real next move is? China are pushing to upgrade gold to HQLA, high-quality liquid asset. And what is that? Friends, HQLA is the master valve of the entire global financial system. Today, that plumbing flows almost exclusively with US Treasuries. You want to borrow money? You want financing? You must go through this dollar treasury pipeline. But imagine, what if gold also becomes the master key for this pipeline? So, why must China do this? This goes back to 2022. That year, the United States did something. It froze $300 billion of Russia's foreign reserves. This event was a wake-up call for the entire world. It sent a clear signal. The money you have stored in the US doesn't really belong to you. They can flip a switch and turn off your access at any time. So, central banks around the world started thinking, if they can do that to a major power, what will they do to me the next time we have a disagreement? A crisis of confidence in paper assets erupted. Look at this chart of China's gold holdings. For the longest time, it was flat. Then, the trade war started, and the chart exploded. China began accumulating gold openly and loudly. You think this is showing off? No, this is important. China could have bought it privately, but we didn't. Why is China doing this so openly? It's signaling to all the nations in the know. Hey, look at how much gold China has. We have the ability and the resolve to build a Plan B. Officially, China says it has 2,300 tons of gold. But JP Morgan and the World Gold Council estimate our real number is closer to 5,000 tons.
All our gold in your vault? No.
All right, the mechanism is there. The trust is there. This is what truly terrifies the old system. How will China use this system? Look at Africa. Africa has massive natural resources, tons of gold, but they have no infrastructure. In the old system, they had to go to the IMF, borrow in US dollars, and accept all of the West's conditions. In this new system designed by China, an African nation can mine its gold and deposit it into this gold corridor network. Then, the BRICS New Development Bank will issue them a loan in yuan, using that gold as collateral. They can use that money to build anything they want: roads, airports, power plants. Do you see what's happening? They bypassed the IMF. They bypassed the West. They used their own gold to fund their own development. And China, together with its partners, builds influence and exports the yuan. All of this without ever touching the IMF, without ever touching the dollar. This is how gold becomes HQLA in practice, regardless of what the West wants. You think the US doesn't know this? Here's the interesting part. Do you remember earlier this year, when the US suddenly started shipping its gold from vaults in London back to US soil? The official story was about tariffs, about an audit. But the real secret might be, the US can see that the world is moving toward a new financial system. A system where physical assets are king. In a system where gold must be physically moved, whoever actually holds the gold, holds the real collateral and the real influence. They think they are defending, but they don't realize. They are passively preparing chips for the new game China designed. Okay, what does this mean for us? What does it mean for the price of gold? Currently, major financial institutions hold about 20% of their reserves in gold. But now, institutions like Bank of America are issuing new guidelines. That number should be closer to 30%. That 10% difference. In the global financial system, that represents about $2 trillion in new demand. And you cannot print gold like you print money. So, when some people say we could see the price of gold double in 5 years, I wouldn't be surprised. So, we are witnessing a great divergence. On one hand, you have China and the BRICS nations. China is building a world where money is once again backed by something physical, something ancient, gold. On the other hand, you have the US and the West. If China's system is collateralized by gold, the US will eventually have to compete with something that plays to its strengths. What would that be? It could be their technology. In other words, if China pairs its currency with gold, then they might one day pair their system with stablecoins, or even Bitcoin. Think about it. Gold represents trust built over time. It is physical. It is slow. Bitcoin represents trust built through mathematics and energy. It is digital. It is transparent. It is borderless. China's system is about control and hard collateral. America's system could move toward openness and technological collateral. For the first time in modern history, we might be entering a multipolar monetary phase, where governments must compete for the better monetary idea. On one side, the gold-backed currency China has quietly ignited. On the other, the system built around programmable and digital assets. And if this happens, when the world finally realizes this great repricing is underway, I believe you will see the prices of both of these assets, gold and Bitcoin, be reevaluated very, very quickly. This quickly might not be this year, but it could happen in the next 5 to 10 years. And we are here, personally pulling back the curtain on it all. Is this secret, hidden beneath the surface, an eye-opener? Do you think China's gold corridor will succeed? Or is the dollar's hegemony unshakable? In this shadow war, do you trust gold or Bitcoin more? Leave your thoughts in the comments. If you like this reveal, be sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you next week.